Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after a long weekend. It was a long weekend, huh?
Long weekend.
You know what's interesting? I've never been a long weekend traveler, mainly because...
That's where the crowds are.
Yeah, that's when the crowds are. And this is like pre-corona, pre-everything. Traveling on a long weekend, especially if you're young... makes no sense to me.
Even like, pre-dom and pre-marriage?
I would never go...
Even you, right? Like, prices are inflated.
Yeah.
Plane tickets are going to be higher. Hotels are going to be higher.
Distance. But like Palm Springs, like where I went is
sure,
like
that's
doable.
fine. But even if there was, you came home earlier, but if there was traffic, why fight through those things? I don't understand people that don't really have any responsibility that plan around a long weekend. Like, if you're 26... every Monday could be a long weekend. It's irrelevant.
Right. Especially with the work from home. Like, why is this weekend any different than last weekend?
It's mind-boggling.
It wouldn't have been. I probably wouldn't have left LA had it not been for Corona.
I think if it's for in normal circumstances, if you're a family and your children have school off,
course, yes.
that is why you should travel.
Right.
I understand that thesis. But if you're a single person and you could take a day off from work, go instead of going go in June. And traveling's cheaper. And like people, I remember like Labor Day, it's the last weekend of the summer. I'm like, yeah, if you're 14,
yeah.
I mean, I'm 30. I could. My whole life is summer.
And especially with global warming, the weather's good till November.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not missing out on sun in September, October. Like you're gonna get the same weather, especially in Europe. That's the travel hack.
Yeah.
Obviously, no one can travel for the next couple of years, but Europe is just as hot in September and October.
Less crowded,
cheaper. And if you go with your own group of friends...
what does it matter?
Yes.
Party scene's still there.
Yeah.
Doesn't go away.
Yeah. I mean, so my long weekend was extremely quiet. I hit the beach. I hit the beach with the other hefty folks that were out in the beach.
What was the scene like?
I went at 8 a.m. in Santa Monica. It was literally just people running and surfing.
But you left by like 10 or 11?
I left by 10, 15.
Were cars starting to pull up?
Well, you can't park anywhere close. So what's really happening is that people are parking in the neighborhoods of a beach community. And I witnessed this at Huntington Beach too. People park like a mile away and then dragging all their stuff to the sand. So we went for a long walk around the beach. And then I brought a soccer ball to kick with Dominic. So we went on the sand and we're just kicking. And people were sitting down on the sand. And I saw a police car drive on the sand. And just to observe police helicopters, just to really scare people into like, hey.
We're watching.
Just don't do anything stupid. I didn't stay when it got really, really crowded. So I don't know how crowded it was. But it was interesting to see, at least what I saw, felt okay to me. Like people were sitting at the beach. I didn't have a problem with people there. People that felt they needed to wore a mask. Like we wore a mask while we were walking around. And when we got to our little area in the sand where we're kicking, we took our mask off.
Does Dom ask why you guys are wearing masks?
He doesn't give a shit.
No.
He's like, as long as I've got to wear one.
He doesn't think it's a little different. Like, why are mom and dad wearing something?
He's, pretty self-absorbed guy. He's not really worried about what other people are doing. He's like, if I get my snack, my ball,
keeps it moving.
I don't care. All you idiots can wear masks all you want.
Yeah.
And then, I've been running a lot, and interesting enough, which I'm blown away, nearly 200 people have signed up for the Grand Running Club half marathon.
That's amazing.
So my dad asked me today, because I went and saw our parents, and he's like, so are you shutting down the streets for this or what? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I saw you doing a half marathon. So were you shutting down Hollywood? I was like, it's virtual. You can run it anywhere you want.
Right.
And then he was like, oh, okay. I was like, if
you thought you're getting the city permits?
Yes, to do a marathon.
He's got some connections.
Yeah. So maybe, I don't know if he was going to use his juice to help me or not. But I literally told him, I'm like, you could do it in your backyard.
Just walk.
He said 36 laps is a mile. So I just said times it by 13.
Oh my God.
You could
do four guys going to be there all day.
13.1. And you could do that. So I'm blown away by how many people have signed up. People all over the world actually signed up. And
you want this guy to do 471 laps around his backyard. Oh my God.
He could do it in the span of the day.
Yeah.
Every hour, dude, 30 laps.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's a lot. He doesn't seem like a really fast runner. So I think he could be there a while.
Speedy dude. But interesting how many people have signed up. I'm going to cut it off June 1st because I thought my dream was to get 100 people to do this.
But why would you cut it off? Isn't it July 4th?
It is July 4th. It's just logistics because we are making a special race day merch. We're organizing boxes for every single person. So, I mean, I thought, 100 people, it's easy to, even just I'm getting companies to donate. If I go to them and say, I need 3,000 now, they're going to be like, what the fuck? But we're going to cut it off June 1st. So if you're still interested in signing up, sign up. We have a bunch of goodie bags.
Where do they go?
The Menlo House.
Okay.
.com, and then click on the Grand Running Club section. Running Sucks. If you click on the Running Sucks section, you'll see a SKU that lets you sign up for $20.
Cool. We'll do a swipe up for it.
Yeah, and if you are out of the country and want to sign up, use our office address, our warehouse address, 5990 Malberg Way, and you can use Los Angeles, California, and just put any zip code. It doesn't even matter. It's just more. We'll know that you're a foreigner, and then we'll email you for your address, and we'll bear the cost of shipping you the package. So that was really mine. I started training and running. The other interesting thing that I think everyone saw all over social media was America's back.
Yes.
Everywhere, especially in the South.
Hold on. Before we get on lighthearted stuff, let me just talk about my weekend.
Yes,
please.
So Amanda posted yesterday, so anyone who follows her on the pod, our kid had brain surgery last week.
Yeah.
He's recovering, making progress. And the reason why we posted it was because unlike heart disease, diabetes, there's like tens of millions of people that have these conditions, and data is easy to find and how to solve it. When you get to some of these niche conditions, which is what Maverick has, which is called infantile spasms, a form of epilepsy, data is really a problem and how to treat it. So we wanted to tell them there aren't that many kids who have it.
Yeah.
And
or there aren't that many kids diagnosed with it.
Sure. It could be both, but it just seems like definitely not that many kids have it, but I don't think there's like proper data sets and how people are treating it around the world, especially, I mean, we're talking decisions are made on an N of 500, N of 1,000, whereas most conditions are N of like 100,000, millions, right? So, we're in a step, made a big step. UCLA did an incredible job taking care of him and us.
He looked good. I mean, I got to see him for a few minutes the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, considering he had brain surgery, he looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, no, he's recovering. His eyes are bright. We just won't know where the next step is. It's going to take some time, but it was a big step. And, and it's also like, we're having fun on the podcast. Everyone thinks everyone's lives are perfect.
Yeah.
Everyone's dealing with their own shit.
Obviously.
So I think it's okay to highlight that. Yeah. So people, when they're dealing with their problems, like, hey, other people are going through similar stuff.
Yeah. And I think that's what also, I think this whole last 3 months where I think some people got a chance to look at their life and other people's lives and see how people live. And, I think the pandemic showed that there are gross inequalities in so many facets of everyone's life. And this pandemic affected everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So if you were rich, you were poor, you were healthy, you were unhealthy. And it was the ultimate equalizer. And so, you going through this and sharing it is an amazing thing. And I think it's also important that other people, the last 3 months were just difficult for humanity.
Yeah.
And I think people are just afraid to talk about it, or people are afraid to talk. They might be embarrassed by some of the things they had to deal with, or they might be afraid or shy. I don't know what it is, but everyone's allowed to struggle. Everyone's allowed to go through this pain and in different ways. And it's nice when you can share it, because it'll like what you guys are doing is educating people, which I think is important, because I'm sure a lot of people have, gone through life not knowing that they even had these symptoms or even, how to address it. So thanks for sharing. And, we're obviously praying for a quick, speedy, healthy recovery for Mavi.
Thank you. And now let's get on to Pete's weekend.
Memorial Day. I really felt Memorial Day weekend. You know, I said it last week. This was the coming out party.
Oh, yeah.
This is the weekend America was waiting for. We are supposed to be honoring the servicemen that died and fought for our freedom. What did we do with that freedom? We went to the nearest fucking oceanside boardwalk. Anywhere there's water and sun, depending on where you live, and get drunk.
Packed that motherfucker in.
And pack it in. Imagine
looking like a bunch of sardines.
I'm curious to see if I had, a service person that went to war, a man or woman that went to war, lived through Afghanistan, fought for, for us to have this amazing life. We go through this crazy pandemic where we are just asked to wear a mask. That's it. You don't have to do shit. Just wear a fucking mask. You can wear a USA mask if you want. Mm-hmm. But instead, we decide to just take it into our own hands. And what's funny is I saw the videos. The two biggest videos are Ocean City, Maryland, which looked like it was giving away free popsicles because I've never seen so many people there. And then there was Lake of Ozarks, which was a pool party.
Yeah. It looked like spring break out there.
Spring break with a lot of old ass people.
Yes.
Unless people in the Ozarks go to high school in their 40s. Well, there could be dummies. So
could be stupid, yeah.
But I couldn't believe. Look, I thought it was okay I still believe that it's okay to reopen the country in some facet. But do what you feel comfortable with. But I also think it's extremely irresponsible for the Lake of Ozarks to open up their pool party and say, fuck it, let's see what happens.
Right.
Because you went this weekend to Palm Springs with a group of friends, which I assume you've been spending time with, and you kind of knew where they were and you felt comfortable.
Yep.
And I think that's fine. If I had a bunch of people over at my house that I knew, I think that would have been fine.
Yeah.
And I think if people had little get-togethers at their house, I'm cool with that. This is just unnecessarily, and if you look at the demographic of the folks at these parties that I saw, these are not people that look like they are in Instagram fit shape.
Nope.
Okay? They're not getting a lot of likes on pictures.
No. Probably about 18 or 19.
19 likes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not pleasant comments either, I can imagine.
But I want to, did the reason why the Ozarks Lake go viral and why everyone wanted to go there because of the show? I don't remember Ozark Lake being Havasu.
No, but they have their party spring break.
It seemed a little extra.
No, here's what it is. There's not many. So there were bars open. We already saw that video, right? A few weeks ago in Wisconsin. That content's not going to go viral. I saw plenty of restaurants. Taylor sent us a video of a restaurant, a brunch spot in Tampa Bay, and packed, slammed, no one wearing masks, and then. But at least it looked like it was a big restaurant.
It looked a little spaced out.
And it looked spaced out. So it's fine. We know places in Scottsdale were open.
Scottsdale looks like New Year's Eve Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just looks insane.
Yes.
Scottsdale is popping.
I'm sure everyone within 500 miles said, I'm going to Scottsdale this weekend.
There's already talks. We're making
July
a trip soon.
4th or whatever.
Very soon.
Scottsdale has become, Las Vegas, essentially, right? That has become the center of the universe for young people. And if you really Scottsdale, good-looking crew of people there. It has
do well. Yeah.
It's a young crowd. Scottsdale's young.
Scottsdale's young. It's really fun. Alcohol is flowing. They have great tequila, good Mexican food. I'm a big believer in the future of the Scottsdale party life. If I was young, I'd rather go to Scottsdale and party than Vegas. Vegas is for rich people.
Yeah.
If you want to ball out in Vegas, you got to have 30 grand.
Yeah. No,
you can't. No, you can't have fun in Vegas for $1,000.
No.
But in
Arizona,
Scottsdale,
you spend $1,000 at a club, you are God in Scottsdale.
Yes.
And you don't even need to do that because that's not the culture.
Yeah.
It's not a bottle popping culture.
No, there's some spots.
Maya.
No, not even just Maya, but the bottled rocket, bottled blonde, whatever
blonde,
it is.
Yeah.
That was a zoo last time I went there.
Yeah. I've been a couple times to Arizona.
But I think, look, everything is back. People are back. I just
People are kicking.
don't understand. And I'm even okay if it was all young people. Fuck it. You're kids. I don't care. I don't understand like 40, 50s-year-old people that clearly, judging by the size of their arm, they have pre-existing conditions. Why would you risk it?
I think there's just a disbelief in obviously the virus itself.
Yeah, I think there's still a massive, as long as I'm not old or I'm in a nursing home, it's not going to affect me negatively.
Yeah.
And I think people are just sick of it.
That and the virus itself, I think people don't think it's that scary. It's not that strong. It's not what they say it all is. So that's why I think a lot of them are returning. I think it's just the educational factor.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. Dr. Birx, who's still allowed to speak per the White House,
for now,
says there's clear scientific evidence masks help. Yeah. No, they were saying you could reduce the transmission of the virus by 70% if everyone wore a mask.
Yep.
And here's my honest belief. I think the virus, for the most part, is effectively going to slow down dramatically because of the shelter in place, because of the weather change, the summer. It's the same thing. I understand this is deadlier than the flu, but the flu goes away in the summer. It just fucking does. I don't know. Yeah. I don't understand science, but no one gets the flu in July.
Yeah.
So it looks like this is a similar case. It's going to go away. Fast forward, the weather will get colder, and people who start getting sick again, whenever that happens, November, December, it looks like in LA, if I think about it really, people start getting sick again in January. Like that's when people really start getting the
End
flu
of November,
and
December, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like right around Christmas, people start getting sick, and then January is when you come back to the office and everyone's sick.
You know what's interesting about that is that just a function of everyone's going home and confined into small places with lots of family members, and like, is that an element of this?
I mean, I don't know. I think the virus incubates better in colder temperatures.
No, I agree with that, but I think it spreads when people are confined to small places. What is the holidays?
Yeah.
People confined to small places.
Yeah. And so interesting, our preschool is having like a Q&A on like how to, any questions you have. Well, one of my thoughts is, if you truly believe that this thing is going to be dormant for the summer and fall, but there's a chance it could come back in the winter, why don't you do South Carolina, the kid posted on Instagram, because he was like, all University of South Carolina cares about is football. So classes are pretty much are open from September to December. And in December, the first week of December, it's online only and midterms and exams and go home. So the argument is that the SEC only cares about their students being in class during football season to generate that money. Or is it the argument that in December through February, we should just shut everything down again? I'm not saying go into shelter in place for 3 months. I'm saying like no schools, just maintain some sort of discipline. Like there's no ocean boardwalks open, only in California and Miami. Right. The rest of the country is pretty confined. Like in a cold weather climate like Wisconsin, what are you doing in January? You're just at home, right?
Yes.
You don't actually.
No. Here's a real issue is I think government officials, specifically in California, have overshot their shot.
Yeah.
So we just used a blunt instrument, shut down everything, no real data, no real reasons, and we've lasted too long without explaining what was going on. Hospitals never got overrun. I was at UCLA all week.
Yeah.
It's pretty much shut down. There aren't that many patients. It's just doctors and nurses. And people just don't believe it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, sure, if you're educated and you want to read the articles, the virus is real.
Yeah.
But the instrument used was so blunt and completely not rationalized to the public that they're never going to be able to do this again. Even if there's a second wave, I don't think people are going to listen to anything.
Anything. Not even wear a mask.
No, they're not wearing masks now.
Yeah. I was talking to a pretty famous musician over the weekend.
Go ahead and say it. We can bleep it.
Oh, yeah.
It's always funner to say it.
Okay. And
well, he believes the conspiracy.
He was like,
he's a 5G guy.
I was like,
he said that publicly on Zoom.
Yeah.
I'm not breaking any groundbreaking. On one of those Zoom panels, he publicly said it's because of the 5G and the chips they're trying to get us.
Got it.
Okay. So,
but he was like,
his argument was like, nobody wants to wear them. I sent him the video of the Ocean City, Maryland, the Ozarks, and he's like, holy shit, what the fuck? And he was like, man, nobody wants to wear a mask. I'm like, would you wear a mask? He's like, I'm not going anywhere. But if I went out, I wouldn't wear a mask. And he's like, that's just how people feel. And I think that's, if that's really the situation, then we just have to come to terms with what that means come the winter. Because I actually do believe it's dead in the summer. Like, I don't think we're going to see the cases. We may see people get infected more, but I don't think we're going to overrun hospitals in the summer. Because I think what happens is in the winter when it comes, you're going to get the flu and you're going to think it's corona. Yeah. And then the hospitals are going to get overrun. That's what's really going to happen. But
at least now they have set up test stations. There's those things and ways they can prepare for set time that we're more prepared than we were to start this.
I agree. And I think that's what we have to do between now and the winter is get prepared. Is like if testing gets under wrap, where it's like the moment you're coughing like crazy, boom, you can go get a test, then you could be at peace and you go on with your life. It's really come down to testing. I still think, forget contact tracing because we're not going to do that. It's just testing. Because if you think you have corona, like you went to the Lake of Ozarks, you hooked up with 3 chicks, the next day, normally you cough, and you're like, fuck, I got it. Before you would go get a herpes test, now you're just going to go get a quick COVID test and you're good.
I saw someone on Twitter, I forget who it was, said, why aren't we just crowdfunding the vaccine research? So if you said pay $100, you get in line to be one of the first to get the vaccine, how many people would do that?
I mean, I would give 10.
Right. So, I mean, you could probably raise like $20, $30, $40 billion towards the vaccine research.
I mean, I don't think there's a lack of resources when it comes to vaccine research.
Yeah.
I think where Jeff Toll was saying was like, we're printing trillions of dollars. Fine. Give us $1 trillion for testing. Put $1 trillion worth of tests onto the planet. At least that one problem is solved. And then give another $1 trillion for research. Because it's like we're giving away money anyways.
I agree with that. 100%.
Here's the next real issue is that the information that's being given is being manipulated. So the research study that came out that 50% of the Reopen America tweets, over 200 million tweets, are controlled by bots. That just tells you everything you need to know about the status of the United States. It is fake.
Yes.
Everything is fake.
All
News is fake. We don't even know if this virus is real.
No.
But that's a Twitter problem. Like
that's also a Facebook problem.
I agree. It's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all these guys. Like,
but that's what we consume.
Why aren't we sanctioning these companies for allowing this? They could solve it. I know they can solve it.
Yeah.
Anyone who tells you they can't solve it is because they don't want to fuck with their platform and fuck with their ad revenue.
That's why. You know why? When there's rage, what happens when there's rage? You go on social media.
Yeah.
And guess what happens when you go on social media? We're able to monetize it.
It's one of the biggest flaws, like Jack Dorsey, who seemingly is this like man about the world, man about the people. This is happening in your backyard.
Yeah.
Misinformation. You're altering elections. You're altering public view based on blatant fake information, and you're choosing to turn a blind eye. You're choosing.
Yeah.
Like anyone who doesn't realize Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, obviously part of Facebook because there's a lot of misinformation on WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook parent company or subsidiary. This can all be solved if they're willing to sacrifice their top line.
Of course.
They're not willing to solve it.
It's
sacrifice it.
Very, very easy to solve this problem. You as a human being, you enter some sort of identity verification. You put your full name, your Twitter handle has to have your full fucking name.
Yep.
And you can have one account. If you have businesses, you can have all the accounts you want, and that's one thing.
Yep.
But as a human being, you're allowed one Twitter account, one Facebook, one Instagram.
Yep.
That's it. And make it so. You know how hard it is to get a bank account?
You know how easy it is for Twitter to identify bots?
Yeah, it's so
Give me
easy.
a break.
Yeah.
They know exactly where IP address, where it's coming from, if it's where it was created. They have all this data.
And this is why I feel bad specifically for the American people, more so than any group of people, because Americans, because we're the target of foreign terrorists, we as a country aren't even able to make up our own mind on the information that's presented because we're being manipulated, right? Like I hear it every time I'm around, specifically older people. because I don't think they realize to the gravity that they're being manipulated. I hear statements that are so out of left field about anything, not just about coronavirus,
just conspiracy theories,
just everything. Like, it's just madness in what information that people believe, whether it's about coronavirus, whether it's about politics, whether it's about anything. Like, I see even people posting on Facebook about, like, I mean, look at this. More than 25% of all Americans and 44% of Republicans believe conspiracy theory that Bill Gates is plotting to use a COVID-19 vaccine to implant microchips in people. 25% of all Americans? We have 350 million. 70 million people believe Bill Gates is trying to stick a microchip in you? 44% of Republicans believe that? Whew. That is... We should shut down social media. Yeah. That's nuts.
Social media is literally ruining the way the country works, and Trump mastered it.
Yeah.
And he exploited what was already kind of bubbling, just the complete mistrust of institutions. And there's a valid mistrust, but now it's just being exploited by bots and people with agendas. And the cat's out of the bag. If 44% of Republicans believe Bill Gates is trying to implant chips, like, that's not going to go down.
No.
It's like maybe it goes to 44 to 40.
Yeah.
It's not going to...
How do you convince those 44%, just let's have an honest conversation. How do you convince 44% of people that Bill Gates is not trying to put a microchip in you? How do you explain that to somebody? Let's say somebody believes it. Okay, let's say some listener right now believes Bill Gates is going to stick a microchip in us, right? How do you convince them otherwise?
I don't even know how to. We have some friends who probably believe that.
What?
We have some friends who probably believe
100% we have friends. I know plenty of people who believe that because I see what people post. So,
but what do they not like go the second step? Why is he doing this?
Yes, because
he's giving away all his money, and he spent his entire last 20 years dedicated to solving health problems.
And he's no longer on the board of Microsoft. He's no longer involved in the day-to-day of Microsoft.
He's not in politics.
Not in politics, and he's pledged to give all his wealth. But his last fuck you to the world is, I'm going to stick a microchip so my kids know what you're going to shit and eat at night. You want to go to Lake of Ozarks?
If that actually came out, are you fucking kidding me? Like, if that was true.
What?
It would be insane.
What do you mean?
The chip.
That Bill Gates was...
Yes.
We can't... You can't even joke about it because people believe that.
Right.
But let's just be honest. Let's just say he wanted to put a microchip in. If Tim Cook wanted to put a microchip, I'd be like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I want my... You know what?
If it's already there.
I just ran here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to run back. I have a big, bulky phone with a big...
Hate running with phones.
I would love to have my iPhone chip, and I'd be like,
Zuck is dying to have a chip in everyone.
If Mark Zuckerberg working on the vaccine, I'd be saying run for the fucking hills. He's not working on it because guess what? He actually doesn't give a shit about humanity. His stock just hit a record high, by the way. Facebook hit a record high. So it's very frustrating talking about Corona because we're not even allowed to give. This is the one benefit that China has in controlling the narrative. Forget that their people are clueless and don't know what's going on. They at least aren't getting any information that hurts their country.
Right, the government controls all information, so the government will put out information that helps the country.
Exactly.
Period.
Insane. It's really, really scary that 70 million Americans believe that Bill Gates is trying to put a chip inside of us.
I think they're all at the Ozarks.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. If you pulled the Lake of Ozarks, if you said, all right, everybody, shots on Bill Gates right now. How many of you believe he's trying to put a microchip? What, 100% would raise their hand, right? 100%.
Or if you had like where you had to show your ID and just like fill this quick survey for us, will you?
Yeah.
And then, 100%.
You know what we should do is go to a place like Lake of Ozarks and ask all these asinine questions.
Yeah, Pete needs to do like the Jimmy Kimmel or jaywalking. Jay Leno.
I don't want to publicly humiliate them because then it will look like we're mocking them. I think the more important thing is let's actually believe, because the flip side of this is an opportunity of actually figuring out how to get people the right information. Because this is scary. I mean, what is Bill Gates? Bill Gates, if I'm Bill Gates, I'd be like, fuck it. You know what? I'm just going to put microchips in everybody.
Or just say, screw it, I'm going to stop helping everyone if this is the backlash. But the beauty of a guy like Bill Gates, because I really do believe he's like a modern day superhero.
Sure.
He just blocks it out and it's like, I'm just going to do my good.
Yeah.
Whether people want to recognize it or not, I don't care.
Yeah, when I'm gone, people will recognize.
Yeah, I'll focus on all these health issues, play tennis with Warren Buffett, and hang out.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, while Bill Gates is trying to save humanity, Donald Trump is demanding to move the Republican convention from North Carolina if the capacity is reduced. So what they're saying that in North Carolina, potentially reducing capacity to 25% of what was expected, which I think was 50,000 people was what they were saying. And they have pissed off the Donald. And he's saying, I need full capacity. If not, I'm moving the convention and I'm going to help a state that needs it. You know what state would probably love it? Alabama.
Alabama, okay. Missouri, Ozarks.
Missouri and Ozarks. Those are good places. We know we can get a few thousand.
Florida would be very, very happy to have him.
Florida doesn't help his... he's going to probably win Florida
He's going to
either
win
way.
Florida.
I think it's Alabama. He had that wrapped up.
He had that wrapped.
But there's the governor of Alabama, that'd be like, or whatever, of these southern states. Like, do whatever you want.
So is there going to be any liability issues if he packs, 60,000 in an arena and corona cases? Like, there's not going to test everyone that's coming in. No way.
I mean, who said he's going?
He's going.
He's going to have a...
Yeah, he'll be in like the Pope bubble.
He'll be in the Pope bubble. He'll be fine. But, I mean, I think this... And I honestly believe it's a great move by him. Because who cares? He's causing a problem in his own party. He doesn't give a shit. Because even Republican governors are scared of pushing 50,000 people into a stadium.
Yeah, because ultimately the governor's going to get blamed when the Donald leaves town.
Yeah, when he leaves town and 14,000 people are sick.
Like, you should have had better testing. That's the governor's fault.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think he's such a wily dude that he figured out how to turn 37 million people unemployed, millions of small businesses evaporating overnight, and he's figured out how to turn it into a positive politically.
You think this guy's actually that smart? Or do you think there's other people and other things happening behind closed doors that lead them to these things? But
maybe, but he's...
Like original thought. Complete
his
original
ability to twist it and use the words he uses come from him.
He sure does a lot and is able to do a lot with his time. That's impressive. How to run a country and still manipulate all of that and do all of that all on original.
He's not, but here's the thing. He's just more like, so like, let's think about.
He knows how to deflect blame immediately. That's a gift he has.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what happens under his watch.
Right.
Boom, it's your fault.
Right.
Boom,
Right,
it's your
right,
fault.
That's easy though.
There's something about and I see this in a lot of really successful people and it's a scary, scary trait, really successful people are incapable of apologizing. They can't say, I'm sorry. Like, they can't admit mistake. So many, I became very aware of this when I was working with someone that clearly made a mistake, they fucked up, and they refused at all costs to admit their fault. When I fuck up, if it's obvious, I'm like, all right, dude, this is my fault. Right. I'll take the blame for this.
Right.
But like in this situation, someone like a Donald Trump will never take blame. So if you're never going to take blame, it is better for him to have the Republican National Convention. It just creates energy for your election. So you might as well. And if they say we're not going to have it, then he gets to blame somebody.
Right.
If it says we do have it and 12,000 people died and said, yeah, like Anand said, your state wasn't prepared.
Right.
North Carolina is not the great state I once thought it was.
Right. And then the people will believe it.
Yeah.
He's got that skill because when you lack zero empathy,
it's true,
and you're willing to just blame anyone in lives you really don't care, you can get out of any situation.
And you know what? I actually spoke to a professor at Duke in the business school. His name is Ronnie Chatterjee. He is running for state treasurer of North Carolina. I'm actually going to have him come on the pod, and I want to ask him about the Republican convention, because I think it's going to be the biggest news of the summer, fall in North Carolina. I mean, if that convention's coming to town, I'm curious, does, there are parts of North Carolina that are very liberal.
Obama won North Carolina.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see, how are they going to treat the virus? How are they going to treat people that come to town? Are restaurants and bars and hotels going to be open? Obviously, it's great for business to have 50,000 people come to town. But I'm going to have Ronnie come on the pod because
that'd be great.
I want to also talk about, his whole run in North Carolina, because I think that's going to be pretty interesting. But what Donald is facing this time, which he wasn't facing last time, he's actually facing controversies within his own party. So Fox News has clearly taken a stance on him in some places where he keeps bashing Fox News.
Yep.
One of his biggest allies, I thought, was Ann Coulter, who's a conservative reporter.
Blowhard.
Went ape shit on Donald Trump this weekend because Donald is criticizing Jeff Sessions. What is he in Alabama? Jeff Sessions. Attorney General. And Ann Coulter went on probably a 15-tweet rant that I was reading about how Donald Trump is hurting his own allies.
Ann Coulter called Donald Trump on Twitter a disloyal retard and a blithering idiot.
Yeah. It's cool that when you're a conservative, you can call people retards.
There's no social norms.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want, racially charged, doesn't matter, as inappropriate as possible.
I'll be honest, that's kind of nice. It's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, there's no political correctness.
There's no political correctness. That's the part of being a Republican I like. Free-flowing, just say whatever is out of your mouth.
It's
with no consequences.
Zero.
She called the president of the United States a retard.
Disloyal retard.
Disloyal retard.
And a blithering idiot. And she's in the same party.
Same party. This is the part of Donald Trump this time around, because what the true fans of Donald Trump, who actually felt like he was going to drain the swamp, who actually felt like he was coming to make a change in politics, he let those people down.
Yeah, because what Republicans really wanted, like hardcore Republicans, was the Trump to get in office and then push this conservative agenda.
Yeah.
Push. And
I also think, I don't think they're just wanted to push a conservative agenda in terms of like religion and abortion and all those things. I think they really wanted to like kick out all career politicians. That was when I watched Donald Trump, I was like, if he actually does that and gets the Mitch McConnells and get these guys out, and it's like this new blood of like people, at least that's disruptive. I don't agree with it, but it's disruptive. But he didn't do that.
No, he hasn't done anything but just pander to his 40% base of the country that just loves the theatrics.
Yeah.
Because that is, I think, as important as anything. I think the majority of Trump followers, it's the policy's irrelevant.
No.
What he's doing is complete. No one cares.
The mask is the perfect example. The mask is a political statement now.
Yeah.
Liberals.
If he just wore a mask, we'd probably save lives, save the spread of corona,
and save the economy.
Yes.
If Donald Trump wore a mask. Because what happens now is you wear a mask, you're a liberal, you're a snowflake.
You're a pussy.
You're a pussy.
Yeah.
You don't wear the mask, you're American, you're a patriot, you're a hero. That is where we've come. 2 Republican governors came out and said, this is not a political thing. Just wear the fucking mask. They're literally so frustrated because in states like Ohio and these other states where there are severe cases, they're just like, don't make this a political thing. Just wear it. But Donald Trump made the mask a political thing.
And it's working.
Yeah. And because it's energized his base. Because, when you're at the Ozarks and you're not wearing a mask.
You're not a patriot. You're not American.
It's
not Memorial Day weekend if you're wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
I'm a goddamn right. American. I'm not gonna wear a goddamn mask. I want someone to get a face tattoo with no goddamn mask.
I'm sure it's coming.
Wow. Not me. That? Don't look at me. Fuck no.
So, Trump is doing everything in my book that's wrong. I think he's fumbling left and right. Guess who's fumbling even more? My man, Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe, wake up.
Sleepy Joe goes on a, I don't know, I think it's Charlemagne's podcast. Charlemagne the God, which on the Breakfast Club has his own podcast, has an enormous reach. I don't know. I watched the clip. I didn't watch the whole thing. All of a sudden, what Charlemagne was hinting at was, you have to earn the vote. Just because I'm black, I shouldn't have to be forced to vote for you. Yep. Tell me why I should vote for you. Like, that's the general thesis of it. And he goes, you ain't black if you vote for Donald Trump.
It's crazy. So he goes on this rant and he just like minces his words. I know what he was trying to say, but he said it wrong. At least he owned up to it afterwards. He was trying to say, like, look at how much I've done for civil rights and stuff for the black community. How can you even potentially waver and want to potentially vote for Trump? The spirit of the message is fine, but you just can't say that. And
it backfired on him so badly amongst black Democrats, because then it went back to his voting record where he voted for mass incarceration and some of these other issues. So
the guy's been in politics 50 years.
Yeah. So he's
gonna have some bad votes.
Yeah. But it's just like, I don't understand why he just does nothing. Every time this guy does a high profile interview, he fumbles. This is the easiest election to win if you just show. And guess what Donald Trump was doing on his website? I went to his website. Because you know why? He's selling You Ain't Black t-shirts with a female black model.
Did you see the meme the Trump campaign created?
Yeah.
The Ghana pallbearers?
Yeah.
And they were lifting up the Trump campaign and dancing to the music?
Yeah.
Like, they're just too good.
Yeah.
They capture everything.
I don't know. It's just...
Yeah. It's just the memes. The memes are always right on point.
Joe Biden cannot become president if black people don't vote for him. That's it.
Yeah, if the black vote doesn't come out in Milwaukee and
Detroit,
and Detroit and
Cleveland, all these places,
Philly, Pittsburgh, Philly,
he's toast.
Yeah,
he literally should only be caring about what those people want, because that is what's going to get him elected.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs voter turnout.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only way to win.
This creates apathy, because then as a black voter, you're like...
They neither of them care about us.
Yeah. So what does it matter who's president?
Exactly.
And that's not a good... And unfortunately, we know Donald Trump doesn't care about them.
Yeah.
But like, he can point to stats and say, I had historical low unemployment. I had this. I gave money to the colleges. I gave this. And what did you do? You haven't done anything. You've been sleeping.
Yeah, anything that could potentially not motivate people to turn up to vote will guarantee a Donald Trump victory.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. I mean, the only thing that was crazier than Joe Biden this weekend on Charlemagne the God, crazier than the Lake of the Ozarks. This, honestly, I'm not joking. I've obsessed over this picture. Khloe Kardashian came out with a new look, and she said, I forgot exactly what the comment. I don't want to butcher the comment because it's so good. Location, under bitch's skin, with a kissy face. This is Khloe Kardashian. Please post this picture tomorrow, Pete, on our Instagram. Yes. Okay. Who the hell is this person?
This is insane.
Not Khloe Kardashian.
Is this it? I mean, like,
this is the epitome of like the Kardashians.
So this woman that has posted this picture under the Khloe Kardashian account, I was under the impression...
Wait, do you actually think it's not her?
What?
It's obviously her under lots of plastic surgery.
And possibly like mixed. She looks half mixed.
Yeah, like she went and had an interracial parent.
I don't even fucking know. Like she took the wrong spray tan.
And it's just a completely different face, different everything. So, I was under the impression elective surgeries were paused during the coronavirus. Khloe went under the knife, clearly.
Yep.
And got a completely new getup. Looks pretty good.
I mean, yeah, it looks pretty good.
I mean, I just
don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is. It looks like it looks fake. It looks like a fake character.
But what's the backlash? None?
Oh, none.
No, they were just people.
People just love it.
You're not ugly, you're just broke. That's
what it comes down to.
Right.
Which is really funny because Barstool put on this new person And she came out with that quote, and then this photo hit, and it was like all timed so well. It's like,
I mean, I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a prime example of why you want to be rich.
Yeah.
You could change the way you look.
And if you just look at the comments, it's just blue check influencers just like parading her around.
Yeah. I mean, look, to be fair, the Kardashians and Jenners have been completely irrelevant in the coronavirus times. Luckily, the only thing we've heard was when Kylie's kid didn't eat some M&Ms. That's like the biggest news of Kardashian Jenner.
Yeah.
So do you think Kris said we need to get back in the news, go get stitched up?
Yeah. Gee, they're probably like, you're the ugly one of the family.
Jesus.
I mean, let's be real.
Which one of you would have to get the surgery?
Yeah, I mean, Kim's like, I'm pretty much done. I've done as much as I can.
No, but I'm saying if your parents came to you, who do you think they'd pick? They go like, look, you're the ugly one here.
They'll pick me.
The truth prevails.
I think it's just their way of continuing to stay top of mind.
Of course. I mean, why not? She looks good. Sure. If that's how I came out and that's what I started as and that was to gain attention and I was still rich at the end of the day.
Yeah, because they probably sense like lockout's still going to be around for a little bit. How are we going to stay relevant for the next 30 days if we're not partying and red carpets?
Yeah, I mean, like, no one cares about the Kardashian Jenner right now. They're so dead, it's crazy. Because there is, and I'm telling you, post-corona, this will be the biggest change.
Yeah.
When people's lives are being impacted in serious ways, you cannot waste your time with pointless drivel. Look, TikTok is a great way to get that fix of stupidity, but in very short doses, right? Like inexpensive content to create. You get your mind-numbing kind of content you need. 15 seconds of someone doing I'm a savage. And that's good. But like, that's good. That's just equivalent of watching a reality show like the Kardashians, right?
I also think it's going to be the backlash of the privilege. Like, how insensitive do you have to be in the middle of a pandemic that you're going to post you're the only one that snuck out to the plastic surgeon?
Yeah.
Well, everyone...
But no one registered that.
Yeah,
I think the majority of people like looked at it and didn't
like,
register
damn, I wish I could do that.
Sure, I guess.
I gained the quarantine 15.
Right.
Suck it right out. Yeah.
Good for, I mean, damn. Let's see if the playbook still works. It's going to be interesting to see post-corona.
I'm really interesting to see on like the Kardashian Jenner type celebrities, these reality folks.
Yeah.
Like, where do they play out 18 months from now?
Because there's a big transition going on right now of them getting old.
They're definitely getting old.
Yeah.
When you can't be at the Met Gala and you can't be at these things, you're
How does
irrelevant.
that impact, right?
Most people, like especially in Hollywood, thrive off of that.
have to.
Otherwise, if there's no Oscars next year,
Right.
and there's no red carpet,
And you can't make a statement somewhere, or you
Yeah.
can't be talked about
then
as
because
much.
like it's all visual, right?
Right.
Like we had one of our biggest weeks ever last week on our podcast. I think we might have had the biggest week we've ever had. But we're catering to people that want to be thoughtful and want to understand what's going on in the world.
I have a strong view that post-corona, and it's going to continue because I think it's already happening now, is that like being cool and smug and all that is done.
Yeah.
And that there's this like shift towards authenticity, like just be who you are and be kind.
Yeah.
I think people want to be kind. I don't think people want to be
Not
assholes.
if you're Bill Gates.
Not if
He's
you're
the
Bill
kindest
Gates.
person on earth, and everyone thinks he's trying to put a microchip in you.
I guess.
Do we have any microchip ads right now? Because I would love to sell some ads to a microchip company.
I wish we did,
Huawei.
but we have something way better.
Okay.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the ad portion of this podcast. People's favorite, maybe the People's Choice Award for their favorite part of this podcast.
People's Choice Awards don't exist. So
Well,
just-
I'm making them now for group chat.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have an award show this year. But today, guys, we have something really cool. So somebody, one of our listeners, Juanita, reached out to us. She hit me up and goes, "What do you guys think about these new AR filters?" I was like, "They're really cool. What do you got for us?" She's like, "I'd love to make you guys one, get you guys going on these. They're really funny. So all you got to do is go over to our profile. On the third thing there, you'll see the face filters. I'm the one as the example right now because we wanted to surprise you guys.
Okay.
So now we've helped you show it. Give me your first initial thoughts on this.
I liked it. I actually just did it. Mine was riding a Peloton with El Presidente in LA.
Which is a dream come true.
Mine was riding a Peloton alone in my house.
So a lot of Peloton rides here. So you could go on there, find out what your summer's going to be like. So you could go on there either under our profile or just under the filters themselves and go ahead and search group chat. You'll find them there. Guys, Juanita over at Shaq Marketing Agency, she's great. They just came out with this new AR filters for influencers, brands, and other people on Instagram. So they're really great, really interactive, really cool.
Yeah, how do you reach out to them?
So you can head over to... She didn't give me a .com. Okay, so you can head over to shackfilters.com. Go ahead and let them know that we sent you there, and you'll get a 15% off discount.
It's a great idea for a business because if you create the right one that can go viral.
Yeah. We've seen so many go viral too.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're able to create that correct one, that could be huge brand awareness, and it's really not that expensive either.
Okay.
So
check it out.
Shackfilters.com.
Nice.
Let them know group chat sent you, 50% off. Go ahead and also go use ours. And get sharing that because we'd love more people to see ours.
Yes.
You find out what you do this summer. A lot of really funny things on there.
Yeah.
Even I'm featured on there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Punch Pete in the face.
I wish.
Pete's getting famous.
Well.
All right, let's get back
slowly
to
but
surely. And we're back. This, I thought, was a very important bit of news that came out last week. And it quietly came out because it really only affects California to begin with. But I think it's a sign of things to come. The University of California Regents are dropping the requirements for SAT and ACT.
Love it.
For freshman applicants through 2024 and eliminating them for California students after that. Huge.
Absolutely huge.
But here's the thing is this is what an article in the Forbes is saying, which I don't agree with. They're saying this isn't an issue about how to effectively bring students into the education system. It's a political issue because people made the SAT and ACT about race and racial equality and justice in education. That is what some people think it's about, that it's unnecessarily being politicized as opposed to actually making colleges a better experience.
So I have pretty strong views on this. I scored really high on the SAT, and I think it's a stupid exam.
Stupid.
Why did I score high? I spent a lot of money on classes. I spent hours on hours getting taught by like specific people on how to gamify.
How to beat the system.
How to gamify the test. There's tricks that you learn how to do problems quicker, and it's just a repetition. You see 10,000 math problems that are similar, you're going to be able to pattern recognize what the next issue is going to be.
That's what Kumon was.
And same with vocabulary. Just because I can memorize 10,000 words, why does it make me more equipped to be better in a university?
Yeah, and here's the reality of it. You know, now having a child and watching him go start his educational career, it's like, why a moment does not define a person. Right? Like you're expecting, we don't know, like I remember I would hear about kids who had like some screwed up situation happen to them during the SATs. Then that was their final chance to take the test, but got into a car accident, some shit happened. They scored poorly. Their whole life is ruined.
Right.
Because they didn't get a good score on one test.
Yeah, and let's assume you even take it 2 to 3 times. What if you just,
You're not that type of person. That doesn't mean you're not meant to get a top education. Right. That doesn't mean there's a great story, and I think it's about Fred Smith, who started FedEx. Is it the
I mean, he did start FedEx. I don't know.
I don't remember if the story was that he was a bad student. And I don't know if it's Fred Smith, so I might be butchering who it is, but it's someone that became very successful. Bad student, took the SATs, found out to get like a 1,500 or some really high score, ends up deciding to go to college, wasn't even really interested in college, goes to college, does really well, and goes off and becomes successful. A year after or 2 years after the test, it turns out he actually got like an 800. But the 1,500 gave him the confidence to think that, oh man, I am smart.
Oh, interesting.
And so that score result could potentially impact your entire future. Some people are not mature enough at 16 and 17 years old to even compute that information or even understand what it is. But then look, in the Indian community, Korean community, Chinese community, we're robots.
Hey, you motherfuckers are smart compared to where I was.
Our parents realize all that matters is win this fucking test and my kid's going to win.
I mean, my USC education was paid for because I scored high on a 3-hour exam.
Right.
That's
100%.
Yeah.
Like, how ridiculous is that?
Right.
That's insane. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's insane that we put that much onus on one thing that only tests for one type of.
Yeah, it marginally tests for critical thinking, but it really tests for how many times have you practiced this problem.
Yeah,
that's really all it is.
Are you ready to be prepared? That's it. It's like.
But my beef with the way these institutions work is why 2024? Why not 2020?
Well, I think
why can't they just move quicker? So you're just gonna penalize people for 5 years. So hey, sorry, 9th graders, you're screwed. The test that we know doesn't matter is gonna fuck with your education.
I think it's through 2024, and then eventually. So they're saying
it'll get phased out.
You could still take it, and it can be involved in your acceptance, but it doesn't. It's not a requirement. So as of 2024,
it's not even required.
It's not even required.
Got it.
Yeah, but how bad would that look for you to apply to a big school and not have it on there?
Yeah, exactly.
It would look terrible.
But, UC has quite a large range of schools, and there are great schools.
Sure.
That I think, maybe a Berkeley looks at it differently than a San Diego looks at it. Here's the thing.
The problem is if Stanford requires it, everyone's going to still take the test.
But not everyone going to school thinks they're going to Stanford.
Right, sure.
So I think this is so disruptive to the education process, and I'm glad that California schools took it because this is the first step. Because every time the colleges make a change, it breaks up the mafia.
I also think, well, if you want to think a little just further, is this their move? They announced this at the midst of a pandemic where people are questioning whether universities are even going to exist. So now they just opened the pool applicant just in case a certain portion are like, no, I don't. Oh, now all of a sudden I can't. Have so many more people that can go.
100%. That was the reason.
That's all it is.
Same reason why the NC2A is letting players make money is because they're like, fuck, this G League is working for the NBA. And we're not going to lose every
But
kid.
as quick as they can flip it on in a couple years, they could do it the next day. Well, not the next day, but within the year.
You mean flip it off?
No, essentially flip it off. Or
I don't think so. I think once the floodgates open, it's too big to control.
That's what I'm saying. But you're saying it's going to take them till 2025 to eliminate it. But they just put these things in immediately, but then push it down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I think because of the pandemic and this now awareness that students are like, why am I paying all this for kind of a bullshit education?
Exactly.
And I don't even get the experience anymore. Once that happens, it's over. It's a wrap. Right. College is going to have to change. UC systems are just forward thinking and they're like, screw it. We're not SAT, ACTs. You don't even need to know how to read and you can come to our school. If you want to come to Berkeley or UCLA, just have a pulse.
Just have a checkbook.
Yeah. Pulse and a checkbook.
And you guys got checkbooks out here, let me tell you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's such a good move.
Yeah.
Look, the reality is everyone should get a great education. It's priceless if you can afford to have it.
Right.
So, it's a good step in the right direction.
I mean, I've flopped completely on 2 ACTs. I'm not even going to say my score out loud, but yeah.
Look at you, you're out here living the dream.
I eventually went to a top 25 school, so it's only a matter of it's working around the system.
Yeah, but the problem is that score, unfortunately, can deter a lot of students from pursuing an educational, degree because you're just like, I'm not smart.
It just
so many kids would.
No, that's literally exactly what I thought when I took it twice, and I was just like, fuck. Maybe I'm not smart, but it's just I'm not a tester.
How counterintuitive it is to build a good society by blocking people from world-class education because they test poorly.
Yeah.
It's literally should be the opposite.
Testing's so outdated. Right.
The kids who test poorly should be offered the highest form of education.
Yes, because we need to help them.
Yes.
It's so stupid. Agreed. Like, you score well, you're all right, go off to Goldman Sachs, go work.
Exactly. I should have skipped college.
Yeah. It was a waste of time. College was complete. If I was able to start my business at 18 and just focus on my business, I would be way more successful.
Yeah, look at Angelo.
Yeah. I met Angelo my first month of college, and look, we probably could have gone and done something together.
What could have been, huh?
Fuck.
You would have been way more richer, way more powerful.
Angela Summers are very nice. Let me tell you.
I could imagine. I could put two and two together.
All right. So here's the big world news of the weekend. Hong Kong has hit the fan again. We talked about it last week briefly that there's some major national security laws being changed by mainland China on Hong Kong residents. That has caused a huge protest back similar to pre-corona, what we were seeing. Protesters are getting tear gassed. This was part of a law that kind of separated Hong Kong and China when the British sold Hong Kong back to China. And so they were supposed to, operate independently. Now, I think mainland China is using this weakness in Hong Kong, whether it's the economy, whether it's corona, and saying, screw it, this is the time to put pressure on Hong Kong. And I think this has caused like an enormous uproar.
Yeah, so China continues to tighten the screws on Hong Kong. They've made it very clear that it's going to be a part of China one way or the other.
Yeah.
And while the protests are seemingly loud and widespread, ultimately they're going to lose.
Yeah. Because you're fighting against an unfair opponent.
Yeah, unless the U.S. government were to get involved.
Well, they are getting involved. Like the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is deeply concerned, and I don't know what that means.
If Donald Trump's not firing a tweet, it's not of relevance to the United States.
So I'm curious to see, because one of the topics that I didn't want to spend too much time on, but we'll do it on another episode, is that this seemingly war that we're heading into with China, not the typical war that we've fought in the past with Afghanistan, Iraq, or countries like that. This is the Cold War, a war that we fought similar with Russia for many years in the 60s and the 70s and 80s. But now we're fighting against China. And China is a much worthy opponent. China has money.
Yep.
China has invested the last 30 years in manufacturing, education. They send their best students to America to learn. Do you know how many professors are getting arrested across America for funneling back education, information, and research back to China? China's been thinking about this Cold War with America for 40 years. We just woke up and we're like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, Keith Rabois is a famous Silicon Valley investor, part of the PayPal mafia, has said that the Chinese government has infiltrated Google, Facebook, Twitter in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Not internationally. He's like, within San Francisco, the Chinese government's already infiltrated every major technology company.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's not much to talk about now. I mean, this is a serious challenge that, China's making this play at Hong Kong. They've already made the play on America. If you want to go into a rabbit hole about conspiracies, go into a rabbit hole about how many professors are being funded by the Chinese government. It's insane. Yeah. American top.
Well, it happened at Harvard.
Harvard. It's a white guy.
Hey, money talks.
Yeah.
Pete can get turned.
This is a big.
You drop a bag. Pete's working for the Chinese.
Absolutely.
Wow. I was
doesn't take much around here.
I was teaching Dominic. I was teaching him Chinese phrases. I was like, ni hao. He was like, ni hao. I was like, fuck it. He might as well. I mean, he's probably gonna have to go work for a Chinese company.
He's gonna have to. Start him
and some big news in the entertainment industry that came out. So I finished watching Hollywood over the weekend on Netflix. I recommended it as my content recommendation.
Yes.
I finished half of it. Weird beginning, real sex-filled couple episodes, but it ends phenomenally.
Yep.
Great show. And what it taught me was the rules of Hollywood. It's an industry that people are fascinated with, but this is across every industry.
Yep.
There were certain rules in the way the movie industry was run, and that is how they always ran it. And I watched the ending of this show, and then I watched it on Netflix because it's a Netflix show, and I look, holy shit, Netflix doesn't give two shits about the rules. They do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, with whomever they want. They've literally, in my opinion, completely destroyed the entire. People talked about how they destroyed like the movie theater or they destroyed Blockbuster. I think they destroyed the process of the entertainment business.
Yeah.
Because they just do whatever they want whenever they want.
Yeah, there's no calendar. There's no upfronts.
This is the same thing that that Gucci came out and said that they are not no longer working around the fashion calendar, which is when you show summer, when you ship fall. Like typically in fashion, you ship fall June 30th. That's insane.
Right.
Why am I shipping a jacket in July?
I've always said this.
Yes, but this is what retailers wanted to do.
Yeah.
And we just all had to follow and listen. Now, industry is broken. 8-9 years ago, we were like, we're no longer following any calendar. We'll make whatever the fuck we want, whenever we want.
Like, how stupid is it that we were programmed our entire lives? We only get new episodes from like September, October to like April.
Why can't I get one in July?
It's so dumb.
Just because it's summer, I can't watch fresh TV? I got to watch reruns of America's Got Talent?
And like for as much as we talk about negatively about plenty of these Silicon Valley technology companies, they use that mindset with Netflix. Like why don't break the norms?
And so the big news is HBO Max is coming to the streaming business. They're probably going to be the most expensive of the bunch. I forgot what it, look up, Pete, how much HBO Max is. But they're coming with a slate of content. HBO actually has really great content. I don't know.
And they actually put it out all year round.
And they've had the marquee shows that we normally...
They have the worst interface ever, though.
I have not downloaded HBO Max. Oh. So I use HBO Go or whatever. I signed
$11.99.
How much is it?
No. Sorry, that's HBO Now. Give me a second.
So...
$15.
Correct.
That's expensive.
So yeah, they said they're the premium choice. And I get it, like... Look, I don't care, $15, I'll go sign up for it. But Netflix is still $9.99, right? What is Netflix?
Yeah, I think so.
It's insane. I took a picture of all the shows I've watched in the last 2 months. I mean, to put it in perspective, I've watched Hollywood. I watched the new Jerry Seinfeld 23 Hours to Kill. Hilarious. First 10 minutes are not so good. It's amazing. I watched Never Have I Ever, Extraction. I watched... I think we showed Dom like Llama Llama. I mean, it's everything. It's the entire industry for $9.99.
It's a great deal.
It's unbelievable. And
the amount of content, like fresh content that they're giving you.
It's unreal. It's literally unreal. I look at HBO Max. Do they have a shot? I don't know.
They have a shot, like as long as they're not trying to get 100 million users. If they're okay with 5 to 10 million users.
Yeah. Yeah,
because that's how they're risking. If they thought about the business, like we get 5 to 10 million people paying this is a good business.
Plus, with our TV revenue, cable revenue,
you're not going to get 50.
You're not Disney. No. You don't have the army of content.
No way.
And the catalog and
HBO doesn't make content that quickly.
No,
they do.
And Netflix already.
It's premium content.
Yeah.
So just by definition of the way HBO creates content.
Netflix broke that mold. If you watched Hollywood or if you watched 000 on Amazon Prime, okay? This is the most expensive show I bet you to shoot. They're shooting in like 14 countries, drug dealers in 5 different languages.
So the difference is Netflix is spending whatever the number is, 13 to 15 billion on content.
Yeah.
They can swing and miss.
Yeah.
HBO can't.
No.
So HBO can't miss on 3 shows.
No.
They're toast. They don't have the budget.
And that's again about rewriting what we know as the movie industry.
Exactly. And I think
what it was.
But it's like if I'm HBO, I think it's impossible to compete with Netflix. You know what I would be doing? I'd be getting in the podcast business. Because guess what? For $1 million, you could probably put out an insane podcast.
We're available.
We are. Price? Yeah, but we don't want to talk prices because it's so big. I don't think you can afford it.
But I don't understand. Like, why not be thoughtful about what industry? Like, if you want, Netflix is going to create the next Game of Thrones. Netflix is going to create the next Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
they're going to create all of that.
Stop trying to beat them at their game that they have perfected.
They went and hired Shonda Rhimes and just paid her $bazillion and say, "Come up with one good show." She could put out 10 shows. If one is the next scandal,
that's all they need.
They just need one. They gave Kenya Barris the bag. He just needs to come up with one show.
Yeah.
All these, they locked down every comedian.
Yes. And they'll just keep doing it. Yes. Everybody's getting a special. Doesn't matter. It's hitting somebody. Somebody somewhere is like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to watch a Jerry Seinfeld one, but you're raving about it. I'm just like, it's not my funny. But like,
yeah, but you know, it's just like there's enough people. It's just, I don't even understand how anybody competes with Netflix now, except at Disney.
I think that's right. At scale, I don't think anyone can.
No. And the way they think. There's no rules. I guarantee you, like, isn't the guy, the Barstool guy, what's this guy's name that he's going after at HBO? Peter Nelson.
Peter Nelson.
Poor bastard.
Yeah, he's not competing with Netflix.
That guy, I mean, those executives are thinking very linear. They're thinking, oh, we got to cast to this and we got to do this. Netflix is like, anyone have a good idea? Cool, go for it.
Well, apparently Peter Nelson wasn't thinking podcast because he didn't even pitch his own idea to his own company.
Yes,
maybe we should take this podcast under our wing.
They should have put a Call Her Daddy podcast video series on HBO Max, and that would have worked. But if HBO is smart,
he was giving it to somebody else.
If HBO is smart right now, they go to Dave Portnoy.
Oh no, Dave's not doing
say,
shit
you know what?
with him.
No, but offer Dave Portnoy the bag and say Barstool.
He already put out his demand.
What'd he say? How much?
He tweeted. He said, "I want 3-year deal from HBO, unlimited budget, unlimited money, unlimited everything, and you'll sign on the bottom."
Okay, but here's the thing: we've seen the quality of the content Barstool puts out. What's unlimited budget for him? $20 million? $50 million? Give him 100. Give him $100 million.
He's incredible. Huge fan of
I'm just trying to think of all the things he could possibly do to run that count up, but like, sure.
Looks like he's in the Hamptons now.
Oh, he's up in Nantucket.
Nantucket.
Yeah. He's not
got a
a
house
Hampton. He's
up there.
not going to go with those snowflakes over there.
No.
That's amazing. Well, this is a great episode, guys. What do we got, Pete? Anything we're ending with?
Sports.
Oh.
We missed the sports segment in the big golf tournament.
Yeah, what happened? A bunch of people played golf?
It's Tom Brady. And was
Phil
he with Tiger?
Mickelson.
Yeah.
Tom Brady and
Tiger
Phil
and Phil,
Mickelson.
and then Tom and...
So it was called The Match.
Yeah.
And it was for COVID...
relief.
Yeah,
They
relief.
raised $20 million.
That's amazing. Where was it played?
In Florida.
Where else?
Obviously, Florida man.
Florida only.
So all I saw was one clip of Tom Brady's pants
out.
splitting.
Okay, no.
That's
no.
all I saw.
You didn't even see the whole
he
out.
had a big shot, right?
Yeah, so he was basically playing like shit
Oh my
first
God.
half of the day.
I think Helen Keller could have gone out there and shot better than
And so
fucking Tom Brady
you
did.
just start seeing on Twitter, everyone's talking shit to him. And
He hits like a big shot.
so Charles Barkley is in his ear. So everyone's mic'd up, which is really cool. So you're hearing everyone talking shit. Charles Barkley just starts going in on Tom in his earpiece. And
betting hundreds of dollars on shots for Tom Brady. He goes, you make this out of the green, I'll donate $100,000 right now. Fucking chinks it right. He goes, make it just near
so
the green.
He's just getting in his head.
Yeah.
And he's 120 yards out of one of the holes, and Barkley just picks up the shit talking. And this is like
GOAT.
Yeah, these guys just built differently. These guys sucks at golf.
Yeah.
Seemingly. I don't know. Maybe he's better at other day. I'm not a golf expert, but he looked like he sucks.
Yeah.
And he holds out 120 yards out and just says, Chuck, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, literally. And Charles Barkley, by the way, is the worst golfer in the entire world.
He's a big guy.
No, like he's legitimately the worst golfer. You should see the videos this guy played. The worst golfer.
But
it was great.
Great that they did it for charity. I saw everyone talking about it.
Yeah.
I just literally can't watch golf. It looks like the dumbest thing to watch.
The fun part about it was everyone talking shit.
Yeah, I didn't know that was there. I would probably have watched it for that. But I saw that and I remember thinking to myself, it's just they're cut different. The Tom Brady's, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe's, the LeBrons.
Even Peyton Manning, there's holes where Peyton Manning outshot Tiger Woods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like how this guy's a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, but outplay Tiger in 64 holes. I dare you. Like,
Sure, but even in a vacuum,
sure.
Like it's I mean, it's just obviously sports just don't translate differently. But like, I don't know. The fact that Peyton Manning can even compete with Tiger on one hole is insane.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because your average Joe can't.
No.
What
it's
else?
Really good though. Group
else?
Chat University, we missed that. But
oh yeah, what do we got?
So we have the Daddy-O. So John over at Daddy-O sent us the group chat sweaters for Group Chat University. We wanted to do a quick giveaway with him. He sent us a bunch of extra ones. We have like 3 extra. So I've gone ahead, picked 3 winners off of the comments. Great thing is I'm not going to message them or tell them they won because this makes sure that you listen all the way through the pod.
Okay.
Come all the way to the end. And if they don't reply or hit us up by the next episode, we pick new winners.
Okay, who are the winners?
So first one is David Arcos, 24. Ben Ruiz? Brennan Ruiz. Okay.
Brendan Ruiz.
Yes, Brennan Ruiz and then Lopez _04. So I have their ats. You can recognize them, pick them up. You go ahead, DM us. We'll send one your way.
Okay. All right. Group chat use picking up steam. Now, maybe I'll require SATs.
ACTs. Maybe Pete needs to retake
Should we
his
require
ACT.
them to? We should have a paywall.
Yeah.
And it should be like, you have to score such.
Yeah, I
and
don't
such
want
score to
dummies
get
at
this.
group chat.
No, we only have the smartest of people. And now that we're getting bigger, we got to keep that wall high.
Yeah.
High barriers.
All right, everyone. Thank you, and we will see you Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Boom.